Good afternoon, everyone. We are tracking a strong line of severe storms that is moving through the southeast this afternoon. We've got multiple severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing right now across Alabama and up into south central Tennessee. And this whole line of storms is going to continue pushing off to the east. Throughout this afternoon and into the evening. My name is meteorologist Joe Pisani. We're tracking this line of storms. It's kind of started over in northwest Alabama, now coming into the Birmingham area. We do have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings here for this line of storms that you can see here highlighted in the orange area. We're seeing a lot of 60 to 70. Some places have seen 75 mile per hour wind gusts with this line of storms that is moving through. Let me kind of show you what some of these winds are looking like here. Let's flip over here to Birmingham. Get a better look at this. So you can see here this line basically from just southwest of Birmingham all the way up here through Gadsden up to Fort Payne, and then even up here toward the Tullahoma and Winchester, Tennessee area. And this whole storm system here is going to continue moving off to the east throughout this afternoon and this evening. There is a new severe thunderstorm watch that was issued here for much of north and central Georgia, portions of southeast Tennessee, and the western parts of North and South Carolina about maybe 30 minutes ago. Let me show you here what we're looking at here with this area here. So this is that severe thunderstorm warning that I was telling you about here, that area that is outlined here in blue. This is until 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time this evening, and that is for that whole complex. This MCS that's moving through. You can see they have the severe wind. They do have it tagged as high probability, and that is really the main threat this afternoon and this evening is going to be those stronger winds in upwards of 75 miles per hour. Not out of the question with this storm system that we have coming through here, as this whole line of storms right now is actually moving off to the east at about 65 miles per hour. So it's moving really fast right now, and it will continue to move through. We'll probably see it coming here through the Atlanta, Georgia area probably around 6 o'clock Eastern time. So we're probably about maybe 2 hours away from it coming through here this Saturday evening. So if you're out and about, really here anywhere between Birmingham and Atlanta, just know that this is ongoing. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. This here is for Jackson County, northeastern DeKalb County, eastern Moore County, in Middle Tennessee, and Franklin County. So that's northeast Alabama and parts of south central Mississippi here for this line of storms. You can see here this line right here, and just out ahead of this line again, we're seeing those 60 to 70 mile per hour sustained winds here with this line of storms as it quickly race off to these. So Chattanooga, this is going to be moving into your area here probably within the next hour or so. Scottsboro, it's coming into your area here right about now. Woodville's getting pounded. Huntland, Winchester knocking on your door in Tullahoma, over toward Aswani. And again, all of those damaging straight line winds. I kind of want to take a look, see as far as reports for today, how we're looking. Oh yeah, we can definitely see there are a lot of, just already today here, all these blue dots here that you see on this. These are all those wind damage reports. So you can see it kind of started there in Arkansas and really ramped up here through northern Mississippi and northern Alabama. So we are seeing, we've already got 68 wind reports thus far with this storm system. So this is really packing a punch. 0 tornado reports, 0 hail reports. But again, that wind threat with this storm system that we have ongoing today. This is exactly why this enhanced risk was issued, because of this wind threat with this MCS that we have moving through 30% risk area on this wind threat right now. And that, well, again, is going to be here moving into highly populated areas already, coming here through Birmingham. So I'm sure we'll keep an eye on that, see some more reports coming out of these areas, really from now over from Birmingham. They're putting these warnings out well in advance of this line because of the history that these storms are having, producing these straight line damaging winds. But again, thus far, no tornadoes with this system, but this MCS really getting well organized this afternoon across northern Alabama and south central Tennessee. So definitely a lot going on in these areas. There's also a mesoscale discussion, and this is for more this evening, for later this evening, across portions of eastern North Carolina and southeast Virginia. They could potentially issue a watch out this way as well. Keeping an eye on some of the storms up there later this afternoon to this evening. But again, you can see here these area where our storm system's moving through in that enhanced risk zone this afternoon that you can see. And again, we've got two active watches out here. We've got this watch here for portions of northern and central Alabama and south central Tennessee. That's going till 6 p.m. Central Time. And then we have the watch here for Georgia, portions of the Carolina, and southeast Tennessee. That goes until 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time with that. Let's get back to the radar here. Take a look at this line. So Birmingham coming here now through the east side, coming into the Trussville area, Leeds, Moody, up toward Odenville, right along here. The US 411 corridor, Asheville coming up into your area, and down toward Alabaster. And you can see a lot of lightning here as well. All these little white dots here that you see, those are all lightning strikes that we're seeing down here toward Pelham, Alabama, over toward Indian Springs Village, and those areas here in Alabama. And this line continuing even down toward the south here. We'll see if it kind of grows what we call upscale with this line moving through from Tullahoma all the way through. So again, Chattanooga now, western side of Chattanooga, they've gone ahead and issued that severe thunderstorm warning for the western side of Chattanooga. This is for Marion County and southwestern Hamilton County there in eastern Tennessee. Again, with this storm system, it's moving east in this area at about 50 miles per hour up here, this line of storms. So they're putting these warnings out nice and early for everyone. So take this seriously. Again, we've seen over, now I think we're at 68, still 68? Yeah, 68 wind damage reports thus far today. And I'm sure we'll be seeing more coming in here throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the early evening. So this one is definitely packing a punch as it continues to move through here this afternoon. If you're just joining us, hop in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Definitely want to keep you guys informed as to what we're seeing here. If you're seeing anything, be sure to drop it there in the chat for us as well. And share the stream. You can share it on Facebook, over on X, send it in a text. Get folks a heads up, because this line of storms again down here east of Birmingham, now coming out of Birmingham. This whole line's moving at about 45 to 50. So it was moving at about 65 miles per hour a little bit earlier. But now it's moving at about 45 to 55, depending on exactly which part of the line you're in. Up here, Fort Payne, Alabama, moving east at 50. So this is near Gunterville. And new first warning now issued here in Georgia. This includes Rome, Georgia. This is for northern Haralson, Floyd County, southwestern Walker County, Polk County, and Chattooga County. That goes till 4:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So again, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, possibly higher, and hail up to quarter size with this line of storms. New severe thunderstorm warning as well on the northern side of the line. This is for Warren County, Coffee County, southeastern Bedford County, and Grundy County there in Middle Tennessee. That goes till 4 p.m. There in south central Tennessee. So you can kind of see here this whole line is kind of starting to really have that MCS bow echo look, where we can kind of see there we go. We have where it kind of comes down and then is bowing out here. So you have like that little bit of that surging area here right in this part of the storm there. So that can really, right here where this surge is, that's typically where your greatest, strongest winds, straight line winds are going to be, is kind of in that leading edge of the bowing segment. So just north of Gadsden, so Collinsville over towards Cedar Bluff Center, up toward Fort Payne and Rainville, that area there is kind of getting the leading edge of this. But even down here, back through Birmingham and Alabaster, all of these areas here, you actually almost have a secondary little section as well leading out ahead of it. Yeah, there you go. So this is kind of getting more organized here that we can see. Now east of Gadsden to just northeast of Birmingham, you're in some really significant winds kind of moving through these areas here up into Fort Payne, down toward east of Gadsden, coming up through Hoax Bluff Center, Cedar Bluff, Powell. Really getting some intense, likely 60, possibly even 70, 75 mile per hour winds with this storm complex MCS system that is moving through very rapidly. Again, this is moving off to the east at about 55 miles per hour. So if you know folks that are living in these areas, or you've got friends or family members, shoot them a text. Let them know, hey, you've got a strong line of severe storms moving through. I already hear, I'm here in the Atlanta area. I kind of got things outside already taken care of. So if you're here in Georgia, you still got time to kind of get things taken care of, prevent anything from becoming a flying projectile, any sort of, trash cans, yard furniture or anything like that. That can really all become airborne if you have those 60 to 70 mile per hour winds come through. So you gotta kind of get that all taken care of here, because it's gonna be in and out. Really, this whole line, Birmingham, already now you are in downtown Birmingham. You are in the clear with this first wave of storms. There could be a second round later this evening that we may see. Possibly, we'll kind of have to keep an eye on that. But really, this is the main system. There might be some more showers and thunderstorms later tonight. But really, right now, Birmingham, you are looking in the clear on that. And interestingly enough, tomorrow, we'll talk about it here in a little bit. They actually upgraded tomorrow's risk area to a moderate risk across portions of Oklahoma and Texas. So another big day of severe storms that we're expecting as we go into tomorrow out there. And so that's something to keep an eye on. It has been quite the year. I know I haven't been able to do a live stream here for a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. Just been really busy, but great to be back here tracking these storms with all of you guys this afternoon here at Extreme Weather Videos. So again, if you're just joining us, drop a message in the live chat. Let us know where you're watching from as we're tracking these storms together here. Starting to move from Alabama into getting inching closer here to Georgia. So I'm going to go ahead and share out. We've got some severe warning updates here, looks like. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect till 3:30 for Shelby, Etowah, southeastern Bibb, and St. Clair counties. There in Alabama, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, penny-size hail with this. And this one's now been updated as well. That remains in effect till 4 p.m. for Chilton, Talladega, Calhoun, Western Coosa, and Cherokee counties. Again, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, penny-size hail possible with this line of storms. Now, this is kind of that risk area that I was talking about for tomorrow. You can see the moderate risk here. 80 to 100 mile per hour winds are possible in some of these areas, and we could see really, really large hail. 3-inch in diameter greater hail is definitely not out of the question. There is a tornado risk. Tomorrow's tornado risk, again, isn't huge. It's only 5% tornado risk, which isn't negligible. But we're not expecting this to be a big tornado outbreak. Again, the moderate risk area really is more due to the intense damaging winds that we are expecting, similar to what we're tracking right now here from Alabama into Birmingham. So really back-to-back days of these MCS storm systems moving through portions of the southern United States. So today it's here. Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, maybe into the Western Carolinas. I think by the time it gets east of Atlanta, we're going to start seeing it weaken. But right now, it's really, honestly, been intensifying. This line, as you can see here, it's starting to kind of congeal and bow out on the leading edge here again from Fort Payne down to just kind of northeast of Birmingham. So keeping an eye on this whole storm complex, again, that's moving off quickly to the east here at about 45 to 55 miles per hour. And a new update here on this storm coming through the Winchester and Scottsboro area. That severe thunderstorm warning still in effect till 3:45 Central Time. Again, still seeing some 60-mile-per-hour winds within this line. Let's take a look here. Yeah, you can kind of see. Let's flip this. There's that line right there, just now basically having come through where we got these brighter colors. Let me draw here. Basically right here just east of Winchester that you can see. That's really your wind shift there, and then obviously behind it, once the line passed through, the wind changes direction. But that's that leading edge of severe winds here. And really, there is a tornado potential today. You can get those brief spin-up QLCS tornadoes that can quickly form, especially when you see these little cells kind of out ahead of the line. As the line races east and merges, you can get some rotation in some of these. And this is an example of an area that, could see something around the Piedmont area where we have, very, very broad rotation that I'm seeing on some of these storms right now. So that's, again, you have to be prepared for, a couple different areas of some broad rotation within this storm system. So we'll keep an eye on that here as we go through this afternoon with this line that's moving through. me look at that. Can't really see it as well. Cave Spring. Let's see what's going on. Keep an eye on that cell. Some of these cells kind of out ahead of the main line, again, also can have... I mean, we got plenty of instability here, so again, you could have those brief spin-up tornadoes in any one of those cells out ahead of the line. Again, they'll be likely weaker tornadoes, but regardless, it is possible for that to happen. So keep an eye on that storm there, kind of southwest of Cave Spring, because this little area here kind of has a little bit of an interesting feature on it. It's kind of in the wrong part of the storm, though. Put this in motion here. So you can see here it started, and now look how it's developed here just in the last like 30 minutes. So it's really starting to ramp up here as it comes into eastern Alabama. So Oxford, this Highway 21 corridor from Oxford, Jacksonville, Piedmont, you guys are next in line there. Cedar Bluff, it's coming through your area as well. And then it's going to be coming through Fort Payne right now with those 60-mile-per-hour winds. And then up toward Valley Head. And approaching here, you can see here just now passed through Winchester, so coming into Suwanee, Stevenson, Bridgeport, South Pittsburgh, Tracy City. You guys are coming in here probably in the next 15 to 20 minutes. It'll be moving through there. Fort Payne, Cedar Bluff is probably, Cedar Bluff and Center, right there on the leading edge of this complex, probably taking on some pretty big winds there. And Galesville. Some scattered storms out ahead of this whole system as well, down here near Peachtree City. Hampton, pretty strong storms over toward McDonough as well. Pretty strong, heavy storm. Non-severe, but nonetheless, just be mindful there along 75 in and around McDonough and Flippin area. Pretty heavy storm right now moving through. But this whole storm complex is what we're keeping an eye on here this afternoon. All right, so we got a new update to the risk area here. So they've obviously trimmed back the enhanced risk area for basically where the storms are to where they're going, to include Chattanooga and Atlanta over toward far western tip of North Carolina and just west of the western tip of South Carolina. So enhanced risk does continue here for this organized Boeing line of storms. Going to move across southeast and southern Appalachians this afternoon and evening with the potential of corridors of wind damage and a tornado or two. Other areas of severe storms will be possible in the wake of this storm system from Mississippi to West Texas and across parts of the southern plains, southern high plains, and the Ozarks. Here's the 20Z update for the southeast. The ongoing MCS across the southeast has steadily matured this afternoon, with numerous reports of wind damage across Alabama and Mississippi. These storms are going to continue to pose a risk for damaging wind gusts and an isolated tornado as they move eastward into the southern Appalachians this evening and tonight. The primary change of the outlook was to trim the enhanced and slight risk behind the cold pool, but continuing heating and air mass recovery immediately behind these storms may support some redevelopment along the western edge of the trailing outflow from the Arklatex to Mississippi tonight. Recent HRRR guidance suggests a few clusters of severe storms may redevelop and spread eastward tonight, with a risk for occasional hail and damaging wind gusts. So that is the latest there from the Storm Prediction Center on this afternoon and this evening's storm threat. So the storm threat continues. Second severe thunderstorm warning now for far northwestern Georgia. This is for western Walker County and Dade County up there in northwest Georgia. That is going till 5 p.m. Eastern, so for the next about 45 minutes. Again, this storm system moving east at about 55 miles per hour, coming out of Scottsboro, knocking through here, the I-59 corridor up here just in West Georgia. Also, this storm here might honestly have a little bit of hail on it too. Let's take a look. Yeah, just south of Trenton, that storm looks like it's got a little bit of a hail core with it as well. So if you're seeing hail out there, if you live up in this area and you're seeing hail out there, definitely snag a photo of it safely if you can. Let us know what you're seeing here with this storm here just south of Trenton, because that does look like it's coming here in between Trenton and Chickamauga. This storm honestly is probably going to come up pretty close to Chickamauga as it continues to move here through. Yeah, it's going to basically come just on the south side of Chickamauga. So if you're here in Plum Nelly, toward High Point over toward Chickamauga here on 136, be mindful, Round Top, you've got pretty big potential for some large hail with this storm. Hail maybe up to 1 inch in diameter possible with that. This storm here near south of Cave Spring, putting out a lot of lightning out ahead of that storm on the northern side. That's what we call some of that blue sky lightning. And that's why we say, folks, when you can hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning. And this is a prime example of a storm where the storm's off to the south, but we have a ton of lightning out ahead of it north of Cave Spring. All these little white dots that are probably maybe a little hard for you to see on the screen here, but a ton of lightning here on the north side of Cave Spring out ahead of this town. Cedartown taking on a pretty big storm again. This severe thunderstorm warning here continues till 4:45 p.m. Eastern for these areas. And Oxford, this storm, Oxford, Jacksonville, Piedmont, really about to be taking on the brunt of some of these intense winds coming through here, through this area. Let's flip over here. Yeah, you can see where this wind shift is just now coming basically right along Highway 21 here. Where you see this red shading, that's where your wind shift there is. So really 60 mile per hour wind gusts possible with this whole line of storms. Yeah, you can just see that whole line all the way from now east of Murfreesboro down to I-20 near Talladega. And then even south Talladega through Calera and all that, this whole system. But really, I think some of the strongest winds are going to be between Cedartown and Rome, kind of here on this leading edge of the Boeing line segment, where you'll have some of those winds pushing out ahead of the storm there. New severe thunderstorm warning now here east of Oxford. This is for Cleburne County there in east central Alabama. That goes till 4:15 Central Daylight Time. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-size hail possible. Expect damage to roof siding and trees. This includes the Heflin, Rainbourne area right along I-20 here up toward Edwardsville and parts of the Talladega National Forest. Yeah, this whole line's really getting well organized. I'm still keeping an eye on this storm here, kind of just now north of Cedartown, because it's still kind of off to itself. Let's take a look at the velocities on it again. Yeah, still seeing a little bit of broad rotation on it, just southeast of Cave Spring area. Kind of right in this area here. Now it's even broadening out even more, so not looking as good as it did on that last scan with the newest scan that just came in. So we currently have 11 severe thunderstorm warnings that are active on the board here. Again, with this whole line of storms stretching from Tennessee all the way down here through northwest Georgia and much of northern and central Alabama. Multiple wind damage reports being reported this afternoon here with this line of storms. And I think that number is just going to continue to go up as we go through this afternoon. Let's take a look here. Yeah, where we are now, we've gone from 68 wind damage reports now up to 77 wind damage reports. 77 wind reports here. Some now coming in here in southeast Tennessee around the Winchester, Tullahoma area. Let me take a look at these a little bit closer as this line continues to move through. Yes, 1 mile south of Tullahoma there in Coffee County. Spotter reported of power lines in road from a tree that fell. We got trees down reported in the Moody, Alabama area. At least one of them down in a home. Over in the Owens Crossroads area, we also have trees and power lines down on Green Mountain, trees down along Highway 278 in the Altoona area. 61-mile-per-hour wind gust reported at Birmingham International Airport earlier as well. So again, this line of storms it means business, folks. It definitely means business. You've got to take these storms seriously, as this is now been upgraded. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect till 5 p.m. for western Walker and Dade counties. They're now saying hazards with this storm are 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So that's up here in extreme northwest Georgia. Includes the Trenton, Lafayette, over toward Chickamauga area. This line of storms here potentially seeing some 70-mile-per-hour winds here on this this portion of the line here. Let me come here. Yeah, there you go. So they've bumped that up to 70-mile-per-hour wind threat with this section here coming in. And here in northeast Alabama, we have 60-mile-per-hour winds. This has been observed by emergency management. So that warning remains in effect till 3:45. So they have measured those winds there on that storm. So if you live up here in northwest Georgia, this is all eventually going to be heading here toward Chattanooga as well. So they'll likely get put under a warning here. I'd imagine at 30 past, that warning will likely come out, or maybe here in the next 2 to 5 minutes, sometime in the next 2 to 5 minutes. So Chattanooga, Soddy, Daisy, Collegedale, over toward Cleveland. That whole Interstate 24 corridor right now getting blasted with this storm on the western side of Chattanooga, up toward Suwanee, Tracy City area. And now this line crossing from Alabama here into Georgia as well. So now most of northwest Georgia here is from Cedartown north up basically to just south of Chattanooga is all in the severe thunderstorm warnings. If you're just joining, folks, we are tracking this MCS, mesoscale convective system, that has been producing a lot of damaging winds. We've seen trees down. Birmingham International Airport's reported winds over 60 miles per hour that have moved through. This is moving through the Oxford, up toward northwest Georgia, Cedartown, Rome, Lafayette. You can see it goes all the way up here to southeast of Murfreesboro. This whole line is advancing off to the east very quickly at about 55 miles per hour. So this storm system, it kind of comes in and then moves out just as quickly, lasts about maybe 30, 45 minutes. And then it's just, light to moderate rainfall kind of behind it. So, but we're seeing this whole storm system really now knocking on the steps here of northwest Georgia. Keeping an eye on these storms here south as well of Birmingham, down toward Talladega, Calera, coming over toward Goodwater. That's going to eventually be making it over to the Alexander City area as well. We'll probably see some more warnings because the southern side of this line's, let me flip radar site. It hasn't quite all congealed, but it's starting to. It definitely is starting to here on the southern side of the line. Rome, Georgia, heads up. Keep an eye. You really have a double threat here in Rome. You've got the storm to your south that's kind of moving off to the north, and then the main line of storms off to the west. So I think Rome, Georgia area is gonna really kind of get hit twice. They're going to get hit from this storm to the south, and then they'll have the main line of storms that'll come through as well with that. So folks in Rome, Georgia, really going to be taking a hard hit here. And Chattanooga is starting to see some of the rainfall here in around that area. Also some storms. We have a lot of instability really out in this whole region this afternoon. So we're seeing a lot of these storms kind of popping up out ahead of the line here from Calhoun up towards south of Cleveland. Now even getting here in the northwestern side of Atlanta, seeing some thunderstorms south of Kennesaw, over toward Dallas, here along I-20 west of Douglasville, down toward Peachtree City. So seeing some of those stronger non-severe storms even out ahead of the main line. But again, a lot of wind damage with this, so make sure that you are taking your precautions with this system as it continues to move through. Again, now 77 reports. 54 of those have been, confirmed reports, filtered reports. So a lot of wind damage going on. Rome, Georgia, Cedartown, Cave Spring, Somerville, Tryon, Lafayette, Trenton, Chickamauga. You guys are all kind of next in line here with this Boeing segment. Coosa, just west of Rome, probably taking on some of those 60, 70 mile per hour winds with this storm system coming through. And a new update here on the southern one here east of Oxford around the Heflin area. That warning remains in effect for Cleburne County till 4:15. 60 mile per hour winds, penny size hail on that section of the storm. Further north up here in Tennessee, up here toward McMinnville, you've got your storms coming through here. 3/4 inch hail, 60 mile per hour winds. It's going to eventually head up here towards Sparta, possibly southern side of Sparta, and then eventually toward Crossville. But Chattanooga area, heads up, because these storms are about to be rolling in here in the next 30 minutes. Right around 5 o'clock, we'll be seeing the storms rolling through Chattanooga. And Chickamauga, big storm coming. Also some hail with some of these. A couple of these have hail. This one here near just south of Chickamauga's got a decent little hail core on it. Right here around Noble, Georgia, kind of northeast of Valley Head. So not only do you have the straight line damaging wind threat, but a couple of these storms, we do have some hail that we're seeing with some of these storms. So be mindful of that. If you can, go ahead and pull your car in the garage or under a carport if you got one, because you could have some decent hail with that system as well. So this line of storms here inching closer to Rome. So Rome, Georgia, up towards Somerville. You got probably about 15-20 minutes till these storms are going to be rolling through your area there. And again, just a reminder for everyone here, I'm going to put the watches back on real quick. This whole area here that you see shaded in this light brown shading, that's a severe thunderstorm watch that goes till 9 p.m. this evening. So for much of northern and central Georgia, all the way here up into the western Carolinas and southeast Tennessee. New severe thunderstorm warning here now north of Chattanooga, and another update on that warning. So this newest warning here, this is for southwestern Ray County, southwestern Meigs County, Sequatchie County, Bledsoe County, and northeastern Hamilton County there in eastern Tennessee. That goes till 5:15 p.m. Eastern, 4:15 p.m. Central. 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Again, that line is moving east still at 55 miles per hour. Wow, they have upped this now up to 80 mile per hour wind gusts. Again, 80 mile per hour wind gusts. This is a destructive line of storms here that's moving through western Walker and Dade counties. This is near Russell Cave National Monument over toward Fabius, near Hedniger, moving east at 55 miles per hour. These are destructive storms for Coal City and northern Dade County. Again, 80 mile per hour wind gusts. That is hurricane force winds here, guys, that we're talking about moving through here in far northwestern Georgia. So unfortunately, likely going to be seeing large swaths of damaging winds here moving through northwest Georgia here. So not a good situation. Oh yeah, we can see, looking at the velocities here, just south of Trenton, yeah, pockets of these 80 mile per hour winds that we're seeing here on this line. Wow. Alright, so they did just go ahead and issue a new severe thunderstorm warning. This includes the Dalton and Chatsworth area for Catoosa County, Murray County, Whitefield County, and Central Walker County. That goes till 5:15 p.m. Eastern. 60 mile per hour wind gusts, quarter size hail possible. But again, we are seeing some really intense winds here just south of Trenton, basically right around Cloudland Canyon State Park. Likely seeing some 80 mile per hour winds funneling through there just on the east side of Cedar Hill, Plum Nelly, south side of Trenton, and then another really intense patch of winds here near Coal City up toward Whiteside, right on the Tennessee-Georgia state line there, seeing those 80 mile per hour winds. Then down here toward Somerville, some stronger 60 mile per hour, 60, 65 mile per hour winds. But this area here around Coal City and Sand Mountain area, coming up toward Windy Mountain. They don't call it Windy Mountain for nothing. Seeing some of these really intense, 70, 75, 80 mile per hour winds here. The velocities that we're picking up here. So if you live in Whiteside, from Lads to Whiteside here, just south of Nickajack Lake, really, really intense winds going to be coming through the Whiteside over toward Hoker area and eventually Wildwood. So be mindful that that section of the storm here really putting out some intense, intense winds right now. And now Chattanooga. Chattanooga is now under a destructive, also just in that area here. This is severe thunderstorm warning for Bradley, southwestern Meigs, southern Sequatchie, eastern Marion, and Hamilton County. That goes till 5:15 p.m. These are destructive storms for the Chattanooga metro area. Again, 80 mile per hour winds here, just around Whiteside off to the southwest of Chattanooga. And it's really, let me show you what we're looking at here. I'm going to kind of try and draw this out for you. So you can see this pocket of winds right here. This is 80 mile per hour winds, and it's basically moving right, it's going to be moving right into Chattanooga. Assuming that this holds together here, that pocket of winds holds together here for the next 15-20 minutes, we could be looking at 80 mile per hour straight line winds basically moving right here into downtown Chattanooga, Lookout Mountain area, East Ridge, Hoker. It's coming through this area here. That Interstate 24 and Interstate 59 junction. So this you have to take seriously, folks. This is a developing situation here for the Chattanooga area. And then also another area here again that we were just talking about, south of Trenton. Here's another little section right here, and that's going to be headed toward Chickamauga. Again, these are 80, 75, 80 mile per hour winds that we're seeing, where we have some of this darker orange shading here on the map. And then probably 70 mile per hour winds down here near Cedar Grove area. These are probably some 65, 70 mile per hour winds. So let's see here. Oh yeah, we could also be likely having just west of Durham. I wouldn't be surprised if they throw a tornado warning out maybe in this area. I can't tell if that's... we definitely have... let's look at our correlation coefficient. Oh yeah, that could be a potential for... It may not be a tornado. It may just be debris from those straight line winds here around Durham, just northeast of Cloudland Canyon State Park. Significant winds taking place here. 80 mile per hour winds, possibly even higher. We may have also a rain-wrapped tornado somewhere in this area, potentially as well. Because just south of Durham, picking up almost like some debris signature. Again, this is all with this line, you know, and this could be, you know, just some leaves and trees, branches and stuff like that flying through there. It's very mountainous up in this area, so a lot of damage likely happening up here in northwest Georgia along the spine here of the Appalachians. So that's why we're seeing that. Oh, wow. This whole line of storms really getting intense here now. New severe thunderstorm warning now includes Calhoun. A big severe thunderstorm warning. Paulding, Harrelson, southwestern Gilmer, southwestern Murray, Floyd, Whitefield, Walker, Gordon, Polk, Chattooga, and Bartow County. That goes till 5:30 Eastern. Again, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, possibly higher in some spots. Not out of the question. We're really starting to see this line really intensify here from Oxford all the way up to Chattanooga. This surging line that's moving off to the east. This is going to be intense here this next hour. Moving through northwest Georgia. Northwest Georgia is absolutely getting pummeled by these storms right now, unfortunately. Up to 82 wind damage reports now today. So that number just continues to climb, and I'm sure we're going to see that number continue to go up here through the rest of this afternoon and into this evening. So severe thunderstorm warnings all the way from south of Sparta through the Chattanooga metro. Again, Chattanooga's about to be taking on some 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts here with the storm. Where you see these bright pockets, Chattanooga, Chickamauga as well, down toward Lafayette. These are some of the strongest winds that we've seen. As well, coming in here toward Kegel, Brush Creek, Dunlop, really strong winds. I mean, some of these are 60, 70, Possibly even some pockets of 80-mile-per-hour winds in some of these areas. This is just a mess up here in northwest Georgia right now. And all of this is approaching the I-75 corridor. So there are the winds here coming into Lookout Mountain. Lookout Mountain likely getting some of these 80-mile-per-hour winds now. 75 to 80 mile per hour right through Lookout Mountain. Over toward Eagle Cliff. I think they just upgraded this warning. Yeah, so this is now wind speed 70 miles per hour. Damage threat. They've put the considerable tag on this. That severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Catoosa, Murray, Whitefield, and Central Walker counties. This storm system continues to move east at 55 miles per hour. 70 mile per hour wind gusts with this. Again, damage threat is considerable considering how fast this storm system is moving and the winds that this is putting out. And in and around Rome, Georgia, keeping an eye, could potentially see a little bit of rotation here just on the southwest side of Rome, Georgia. This could be one of those brief spin-up tornado situations. So if you are in Rome, Georgia, Horseleg Estates up toward Mount Berry and Rome, seeing some rotation here in this storm system. So this could be a brief line-embedded spin-up tornado with those two storm systems kind of combining right around Rome. So please take your precautions in and around the Rome down toward Linville. Seeing some pretty strong rotation now just south of Rome, Georgia. Here right along Highway 411 near Saddle Mountain. This is going to be coming up toward the southeast side of Rome, Kingston, Adairsville, that area. Seeing some pretty strong rotation here right around the Lindale area, Lindale and Saddle Mountain. Also likely seeing some, decent little hailstorm with this as well. So this is an intense section of the line here with the tornado threat in and around Rome. And then we've got these 80 mile per hour winds moving through, coming into the Dalton area, Chickamauga, Dalton, Lafayette. Chattanooga is getting about to get absolutely blasted. Chattanooga and Eastridge. It may stay just south of downtown Chattanooga, but it's basically going to come right into that I-24 corridor, right there along the river. Oh yeah, there's the new scan. Okay, Chattanooga, you're not dodging this one. So yeah, UTC, 80 mile per hour winds coming in. Alton Park, Clifton Hills, Piney Woods, all of you guys are experiencing likely 80, 70, 80 mile per hour winds. Over toward coming into Rossville and Spencer Hills, down toward Happy Valley, Mountain View, Chickamauga, right here along the interstate. So if you live along the US 27 corridor, we're talking 70, 80 mile per hour winds possible down here. Another pocket of 60 to 75 mile per hour winds down here toward Lafayette as well. Man, this is unbelievable, this winds that this line's putting out here. But that's why they have this enhanced risk for today. This is exactly why. Down here toward Rome, still keeping an eye on this area for some potential spin-up tornado activity. Here along the line, just south of Rome, between Rome and Linville. I don't see a well-defined notch per se in the line, but there's definitely area of some broad rotation here in the Rome area. So if you live between Rome and Kingston area, need to be taking those precautions with this area. Could, briefly drop a tornado really at any moment. I know there's not a tornado warning out there right now, but definitely seeing signs of rotation here within this line. Again, as this continues to move off to the east at 55 miles per hour. So again, this is fast. This is in, this is out, within 30, 45 minutes. I mean, here at eastern Alabama, you're pretty much clear from northeast Alabama to Oxford. Now all the western suburbs of Atlanta are now under this severe thunderstorm warning. So Atlanta, this is inching closer and closer to your area. This now includes southern Paulding County, Haralson County, Carroll County, west central Cobb County, Douglas County, and southwestern Polk County. That goes till 5:30 Eastern. So we're here within about 30, 45 minutes of this moving into the western suburbs of the Atlanta area, western Atlanta area. So again, down here in, let's take a look at the velocities in this part of the line. Yeah, we're not quite seeing, we're seeing some south of Cedartown, some pretty strong velocities here. Let me throw this inspector tool on. Yeah, we're seeing some 60, maybe 70 mile per hour, 60 to 70 around here. 50, a lot of 50s, 55, 60. So, I mean, we are seeing some pockets of these intense winds. Still keeping an eye here in Rome. It is weaker rotation, not super strong or tight, but there is some very, very broad rotation here south of Rome. So we'll keep an eye on that. But the Cedartown area, getting some pretty intense winds. So this includes Carrollton over toward Douglasville now under that severe thunderstorm warning. I want to come back here because that kind of gives me a good view of this northern side of it. Yeah, look at some of these winds up here near Chickamauga, 68, 69, 71 there. Yeah, Eastridge, Tennessee. Wow, 76 miles per hour here. 79.4 there in Eastridge. Just south of Chattanooga. 82 mile per hour winds. Yeah, so downtown Chattanooga, you're at about 66. And then here in Eastridge, we're in the 85, 86. Again, these are just above the surface. This is 3,200 feet. I mean, it's hilly up here, so yeah, in some of these mountains, you're getting these 80 mile per hour winds up there. 65, 70, down here toward Chickamauga. Lafayette, you're just south of there, 65. And then 45 to 50 down here. Still keeping an eye on this area here around Rome. Still weak, but still seeing that very broad rotation in that area. And then we can see here around the Cave Spring area, we're seeing a lot of 50 mile per hour winds down here, 45 to 50, 55. Let's flip our radar sight. Oh yeah, there you go, 67. I always forget down here we got to flip radar sights to get the wind speeds. I mean, obviously it's 3,500 feet, but a lot of these stronger winds that you see here, they will make it down to the surface, even though they're 4,000 feet up. By the time it gets down to the surface with mixing and stuff like that, you can still be 60, 65. So just north of Tallapoosa, toward Bremen, even back here into Edwardsville, 65 just on the east side of Edwardsville. So Heflin over toward Edwardsville, Tallapoosa up towards Cedartown. Strong storms here even ahead of the main line over toward the Smyrna, Sandy Springs area, right around Truist Park right now. Really heavy storm moving through that area. Over toward Douglasville in the Mapleton area, seeing strong storms. And then south of Atlanta here, just west of McDonough and down toward Jonesboro, a really strong storm out ahead of the line. Calhoun, Dalton, Chattanooga. That's kind of where the line is. Surprised down here toward Roanoke, we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning. They might throw one out there. But I think the winds down here the winds aren't as strong. That's why I probably didn't put one down here for Alexander City. Really, it's I-20 north up to Chattanooga area. That really is the main section of the line there. You can see it there, just surging. Let me kind of draw this out for us one more time. So basically we've got this whole line here, and it bows out right there. And right here, where it's bowing out, that's kind of the main, there in Chattanooga there, where we've been seeing some of those 80-mile-per-hour winds. 80-mile-per-hour winds. Let me take a look at some of these latest reports here that have come in today. Up to 87 reports now, almost 100. Trees down in Montevallo area, some involving power lines. Large tree down blocking both lanes of County Road 8. This is all in Alabama, all these reports here. Here's one in Tullahoma. Yeah, they're kind of time stamping a lot of these. A lot of trees and power lines down, trees and power lines down, trees down, large trees down. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty intense here. I'm probably gonna have to get off here in a little bit as it comes through Atlanta, because this is gonna be knocking on my doorstep. So if I lose power, that's why. Let me clear this out here. There we go. All right, so Chattanooga, storms are now east of you, so you should see your winds there in Chattanooga starting to die down. But East Ridge, over toward Marymount, Little Addition, Tyner, Capitol Heights, you guys are getting some of those strongest winds now down toward Fort Oglethorpe and the Chickamauga area over toward Tunnel Hill. So here along 75 and just on the southeast side of Chattanooga, that's where some of our strongest winds are. Dalton, really starting to see those winds pick up in the Dalton, Georgia area. And then still seeing this rotation on the southeast side of Rome with that storm. So we'll keep an eye on that. No tornado warning issued for that, but there's definitely could be a line-embedded tornado within this. That's not out of the question on the eastern, southeast side of Rome here. Basically it's right along 411, US 411, west of Kingston. So if you're in the Kingston area, I would be prepared to take those tornado precautions, as this storm is, again, moving east at 55 miles per hour. So if I'm in Kingston, I would go ahead and take those tornado precautions with this storm quickly racing off to the east at 55 miles per hour. Let's see, we just got a new scan. It's not super tight, but they're definitely I'm still seeing that wind shift. You can clearly see it here on the radar. So I'm not sure if NWS is seeing something different. This is coming off of the Huntsville radar. So let me flip over to Peachtree City. Still seeing it even here on Peachtree City radar. So, I mean, it's very, very, very broad east of Rome, but definitely something to keep a very close eye on, because you could have a tornadic circulation develop really anywhere within this line of storms here between Rome and Kingston, Georgia. Again, this is northwest of Atlanta. Northwest of Atlanta. This storm out here near Bremen, I think that's going to be what's going to impact my immediate area. New update on this warning here. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect till 4:15 for southeastern Cleburne County. 60-mile-per-hour winds, penny-sized hail moving east, 40 miles per hour on that. Give me just a minute. I'm going to be right back. All right, babe. We're about to get pounded. It's probably an hour. Yeah, still up. That's still up. I just don't know how I'm going to verify. This one we could lose power with, babe. 80-mile-per-hour winds up in Chattanooga area. All right, folks, I am back. We are ready to go here in the Atlanta area, keeping an eye. So yeah, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning here well east of Dalton. This is where we've seen some of the strongest winds. This is now for northwestern Lumpkin, Gilmer, Murray, northeastern Whitefield, Union, and Fannin County up there in north central Georgia. That goes till 5:45 p.m. Eastern. This is moving east at this part of the storm moving east at 65 mile per hour. 65 mile per hour in this area here. Again, here now just east of Dalton, we still have that warning with those 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Let's take a look at our velocities again here on this. Yeah, you can see this right through the Collegedale, pretty much right down 75 toward Dalton, where we're seeing some of those really, really strong winds. And now even down here around the Bremen, Georgia area, seeing some of those really strong winds as well. 55, 60 mile per hour winds coming into the Bremen, Georgia area, Mount Zion, Carrollton area, with the line moving through. But it's not the surging part of the line. That's why you don't have these 80 mile per hour winds like we've had up here near Chattanooga down toward Dalton. That's kind of where the line has surged. Where you get those surges in the line, that is where you will have those strongest winds. And that's why they put those damage threat considerable tags on those warnings. This severe thunderstorm watch reminder, it goes till 9 p.m., so about another 4 hours. With that, as this storm system continues to move off to the east. This is Evan King, Titan Striker. Royalty-free music by Breaking Copyright. National Weather Service did a pretty great job forecasting with the watch area. You can see where the northern extent of the line is. New severe thunderstorm warning here for southeast Tennessee into extreme southwestern North Carolina. This is for western Cherokee County there in southwest North Carolina, and then Bradley, Polk, southeastern McMinn, southwestern Monroe, and southeastern Hamilton County there in East Tennessee. That's going till 6 p.m. Eastern Time. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with that portion of the line there. So Cleveland, Tennessee, up next right there. Seeing some of these, maybe just south of Cleveland. It's going to come very close to Cleveland, though. Collegedale, Apison, you guys are getting some of those really intense, 70, 75 mile per hour winds down toward Varnell. That's where our pocket of really intense winds is, right here on the Tennessee-Georgia border. So Cleveland, Oconee, right here along the US 64-74 corridor. Eventually this could make its way over toward Ducktown. Down here in Calhoun and Adairsville, we're about 55 to 60 mile per hour winds. That rotation definitely has weakened though, east of Rome, so that's the good news there. And then down here, we're at about 60 mile per hour winds, pretty much all the way down toward Bremen. Trying to click on this. There we go. Alright, there it goes. So yeah, this line coming into Villa Rica area now. You can see the leading edge here from Villa Rica down toward Carrollton, toward Beulah, Yorkville. It's going to be coming into Dallas here pretty soon. So yeah, it's going to get intense. We've got this strong storm here coming into non-severe warned, but we do have a strong thunderstorm moving through the western portions of Atlanta here over toward the Six Flags area, Flagstone, Mableton, over toward Cascade Heights, and again approaching the western suburbs, western parts of even downtown Atlanta. So that's going to be moving through. Then we also have some more storms here along the 400 corridor from Sandy Springs down toward Brookhaven, out of the head of the main line. And then we've got this line of storms here now that's moved east of the 75 corridor from Rolling Meadows down toward Highland Village and Julia area. That's all moving off to the northeast. So here we go, new severe thunderstorm warning. Now we're getting into the Atlanta area. Now portions of this metro area are under this severe thunderstorm warning. Big severe thunderstorm warning here for North Georgia. This is for central Paulding County, Cherokee County, Cobb County, west central Lumpkin County, southern Gilmer County, south central Murray County, western Dawson County, eastern Gordon County, north central Fulton County, Pickens County, and Bartow County. That goes until 6 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Eastern time here. So yeah, we're starting to see this line of storms quickly approaching the Atlanta metropolitan area. Rome, Georgia, you are now in the clear. That line has moved off to your east. Still some light to moderate rainfall moving through. Update on this severe thunderstorm warning for Dalton. That has expired as of 5:15. I'm not sure what exactly got updated. Oh, here we go. Storm was prompted. I've moved out. The warning is allowed to expire. However, gusty winds are still possible with those storms there in and around the Dalton area. So yes, they have been allowed to expire, but there could still be some strong winds in that area. So, but here's this line now. You can see here from basically Chatsworth coming into Ellijay and Blue Ridge south through the US 4, basically right along US 411 corridor coming down toward Cartersville. Coming here into Dallas. Dallas, you're basically surrounded. You got this storm system off to your east and back to your west. Likely, I'm going to see one other thing real quick. I want to look at our power outages. See how things are looking here. Yeah, we've got quite a bit. We have 134,000 customers here without power here across Alabama. And Georgia right now, already 11,500 there in Georgia out. So you can see here some pretty, where this wind swath is here, there in Alabama. I mean, a good portion of Winston County is out, even back here toward Lamar County, Pickens County, so we've got some decent power outages that we're seeing here. And then in Georgia, I'm sure, yeah, this is northwest Georgia, Chattooga County, we've got about 2,500 outages. Floyd County's at about 3,000. Walker County's 1,500, and Haralson County's about 1,100. So we're seeing those power outages starting to come in here across northwestern Georgia this afternoon as well, and we'll likely see that number continue to go up as these storms move through here the rest of the afternoon into the early evening. The nice thing is, all these storms are moving through here during the daylight hours, so at least it's not overnight, and you can prepare. But really, if you're here along the 575 corridor, pretty much from 575 all the way from Blue Ridge all the way down here toward Jasper and Ellijay, that storm system is now basically coming into your area. Seeing, again, a little bit of rotation here. We've been monitoring this area this afternoon. Now south of Adairsville, we're seeing some rotation there. Very, very broad still, but can't rule out a brief spin-up tornado. And here we go. Now Atlanta under this severe thunderstorm warning. So damage threat considerable. They're putting 70-mile-per-hour wind tag on this warning. This is for southeastern Paulding, southwest DeKalb, Fayette County, northwestern Meriwether County, and eastern Carroll County. I can hear my weather radio going off in the background. Southern Cobb County, Douglas County, northern Heard County, Coweta County, Clayton County, and Fulton County till 6 p.m. So we're probably going to be keeping a close eye here on this as this is getting closer and closer to home, this line of storms here. We're here in Gwinnett County, so we're a little bit further away, but keeping an eye on some of these storms here off to my southwest as well. These are, I think, going to basically come up here through Stonecrest right into my area first before that main line of storms even really makes it over here at all. So keep an eye on that. Yeah, storms down there near Stonecrest gonna may pass off to my east, but it's gonna be close. It is going to be close. A lot of lightning in this whole storm system too, this whole line of storms. A lot of cloud to ground lightning. What is any flash flood warnings? Let's see if there's any flash flood warnings going on. No flash flood warnings. So that's, well, actually there is 3 flash flood warnings. Update here on this line, this warning here. 60-mile-per-hour winds. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect till 5:30 for Paulding, southwestern Gilmer, southeastern Murray, Gordon, eastern Polk, and Bartow counties. Severe thunderstorms located along a line extending from Carter's to Holly Springs, moving east at 55 mile per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gusts with that section of the line. Downtown Atlanta, you've got this storm moving in here through Atlanta right now, even out ahead of this main line. New update with this warning here east of Bremen now. Severe thunderstorm warning. This is for southeastern Paulding, southwestern DeKalb. Oh, no, that's not the right one. I want this guy. Here we go. Yeah, so this one now has the 70 mile per hour winds. This is till 5:30 for southern Paulding, southeastern Haralson, Carroll, west central Cobb, and Douglas counties. That line's continuing to move to the east at 55 mile per hour, 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Let's take a look at our velocities on this. Yeah, you can see here we're I'm seeing 62, maybe a couple spots that are 65, some of these brighter blues. 65, so around Carrollton, coming over toward Villa Rica, Fairplay. Seeing some of those stronger wind gusts. Yeah, 62, 60, 65 right there. Yeah, it's kind of on the southeast side of Carrollton. And these are low. These are only 1,700 feet up. 62, 63, 65, 67. Oh yeah, 68 right there, just north of Sand Hill. And then down here, there's another spot that was like 68, 66. So yeah, we could really see 70 mile per hour wind gusts here. So this warning here that includes Atlanta, again, this goes until 6 p.m. Eastern. So for about another 37 minutes. 37 minutes. Near Dallas to Clem, near Frolola, moving east at 50, 70 mile per hour wind gusts. 70 mile per hour wind gusts. See how well it holds together here these next 45 minutes. This is oftentimes where you'll start seeing weakening in the line, especially further south. I mean, I've lived here 15 years, so see how this line holds together. I think it's actually going to hold together okay because of the time of day it's coming through. Usually if these come through later in the evening, they'll fall apart faster. But with the time of day that this is coming through, I think it's actually going to hold together pretty well. So still 10 severe thunderstorm warnings right now here with this storm complex. There's even one back here in northeastern New Mexico there. A couple out here in eastern North Carolina as well. Well, there's our main storm system here coming through southeastern Tennessee and northern Georgia. This thing's going to come in fast. I mean, this thing's moving at 55 miles per hour, so it's less than an hour away. Probably be coming through here right around 6 o'clock. Here around the Stone Mountain area, which is where we're at. New update here on this warning. Severe thunderstorm warning for Paulding, southwestern Gilmer will expire at 5:30. Gusty winds and heavy rain are still possible in those areas, which makes sense. Yeah, I think the storm near Stonecrest is going to pass just off to my east. Kind of splitting the difference here with these. Update on this warning here. Okay, they've dropped that now from 70 to 60 mile per hour winds. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect till 6 p.m. for southeastern Paulding, southwest DeKalb, Fayette, northwestern Meriwether, eastern Carroll, southern Cobb, Douglas, northern Heard, Coweta, Clayton, and Fulton counties. Severe thunderstorms extending from Hiram to near Hanna, moving east at 50 miles per hour. Hazard is 60 mile per hour wind. So that is good. Yep, it's definitely starting to weaken a little bit there. Was 70, now down to 60. So I think we're actually going to be okay here on the eastern side of Atlanta. Now further north, this area here along 575, that really is the intense portion that I'm seeing. Let's go back to our velocities. Yeah, it's still pretty intense here south of Cleveland. Right along the Georgia-Tennessee border, that's really some of the most intense winds that we're seeing here with this. There we go. And then around Douglasville. Douglasville is getting some pretty intense winds right now. Let's see what it's looking like. Yeah, some 60 mile per hour winds, 60, 55. Yeah, I can see why they dropped that warning, 43, 53. I'm not seeing like those 68 like I was earlier. 66. Yeah, 62. 62 is about the max that I'm seeing. The storm off to my southwest down here near Stonecrest is like only 23. Not a whole lot going on there with that. Update on that warning. So that is going to be allowed to expire here at 5:30. Atlanta's getting just absolutely pummeled with some heavy rain right now. I wonder if there's any hail on this storm. Oh yeah, right around Peoplestown. There could be some hail here in Atlanta with this, right around just south of downtown, right around the Atlanta Zoo. And then another little hail core possible up here near Cary Park and Center Hill. So with this storm out ahead of the main storm, possibly dumping some hail here around Peoplestown over toward East Atlanta. Let's see what's going on up here around Tucker. Oh, let me get back to my... not much up there on Tucker, but down here around Atlanta, we could be seeing a pretty decent little hailstorm on that. Stonecrest storm's kind of meager when it comes to hail. Maybe a little tiny hail, but not like this one here, right just south of Atlanta. Zoo Atlanta looks like it could be getting pounded with some decent hail there. Keeping an eye on our power outage chart here as well. Currently 23,000 people in Georgia without power right now. Alabama is up to 129,000 in Alabama. Tennessee is at 21,000. And Mississippi is at 14,000. So, yeah, we're at 23,000 of 5 million. Alabama's 129,000. Yeah, there's that hailstorm. So now it's northeast of Zoo Atlanta, coming here into East Atlanta. So could be seeing a pretty decent hailstorm right here, about to come up to the Interstate 20 corridor just east of downtown Atlanta. So that could be interesting with that storm. The good news is here, this line of storms here right around the Douglasville area is actually breaking apart a little bit. So it definitely has a little gap in it right along I-20. Fairplay, pretty intense. And then down here near Rootville, really intense. Down there near Rootville and Central Hatchie, coming over toward Whitesburg. But definitely a little bit of a break in the line there. Unlike further north here, you can see these 60 dBZs. Really intense precip there. Right around Jasper, Georgia. Oh yeah, possibly seeing some hail there right around Talking Rock and Jasper. North of Ball Ground in Canton. And then also here just east of Atlanta. Yeah, not seeing anything as far as velocity that piques our interest really. Maybe a little something. Let's see what's going on here east of Douglasville. Maybe east of Douglasville. Again, there can be these very brief spin-up tornadoes in this line. So maybe just south of Austell. Seeing some wind shifting in that area. On the leading edge of that line. That's oftentimes where you'll get those brief spin-up tornadoes. This little storm complex moving through East Atlanta now, coming into Decatur, eventually up toward Clarkston. That's going to be intense. If this thing might honestly, this hailstorm might track right over me. That's here in East Atlanta. If it kind of continues on that east-northeast track, it's going to come basically right over the Stone Mountain area where I'm at. So if I dip out of here in a minute, it's because I'm going to get some film of the storm coming in here. Keep an eye on the backyard. Yeah, it's going to come pretty close to where we're at. That's a live look outside right now. So things are pretty calm. Kind of got everything packed up and buttoned up, ready to go for whatever this throws at us here this afternoon. But we could see some 60 mile per hour winds possibly with this new update here on this warning here. So we've got 60 mile per hour winds still the threat. That warning remains in effect till 6 p.m. This is near Talona to near Powder Springs, moving east at 45. And a new warning up here as well for Dahlonega area. This is for Lumpkin, southeastern Gilmer, Dawson, northwestern Hall, and Pickens County. That is 60 mile per hour wind gust penny size hail, moving east at 35 miles per hour. So seeing maybe this slowing down a little bit. And look at this down here. Look at how this is just around South Fulton area. This is what happens where the line just kind of falls apart. This is kind of interesting though here west of Noonan. That's almost becoming a little individual supercell there. So that's interesting. And then here from Atlanta up toward Tucker, this storm complex riding northeast. That's I think it's gonna come close to us. We're kind of right here around Stone Mountain area, just east of Stone Mountain, almost closer to Snellville area. Because we're in Gwinnett County there. So it's gonna be pretty close. Let's see what the velocities are looking like. Nothing really interesting there per se. We'll probably get put under a severe thunderstorm warning here soon. I'd imagine probably at quarter till. Maybe. But yeah, the southern part of this line's kind of breaking apart a little bit. Not even any warnings down here on the southern part. They're down toward LaGrange, Roanoke. So that is rather interesting. Let me fast forward. Yeah, it was really intense there when they issued it. Then you can see here right around South Fulton, it's like it's just hit a wall and that basically died out as it's coming into South Fulton, that part of the line. And then this part of the line around Atlanta, this is really surging and intensifying actually. Still seeing a decent hail core pretty much just off to my west, south of Decatur. That's really almost more what I'm worried about with this storm system coming through. It's potential for a little bit of hail. So we're definitely going to be getting this, what's basically here in Decatur is going to come right over me where I'm at. So it's definitely getting dark outside. That's a live look out on the back deck, backyard. See the fire pit there. There's my little weather balloon there. Oh yeah, this thing's gonna come right over top of us. Just got the new radar scan. Yeah, we can hear it now. Let me see if I can flip my microphone. Check, check. Okay. I flipped my microphone, guys, over to the camera microphone, so probably sounds a little bit different, but now you'll probably be able to hear all the thunder and everything like that. So you should be able to pick up everything as the storm system comes in here in the next 10 minutes. All right, step away here. Leave you guys with a live look outside. All right, this one's coming in. No severe thunderstorm warning for our immediate area yet, but that may change. If the video stream goes out, it means we lost power or internet's going up. But yeah, this thing's knocking on my door. And will we get hail? That's the question. May just stay south of us. All right, I'll be right back. Enjoy the view, guys.